Oh, snap. It's on. Hold on. I was going to take some more time. What's up, guys? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Let me see if there's where's that off-topic channel? Discussions. Oh, I forgot. We used to have some music in the background. Let me see if we can add that music. Play some bozo background music. Hey, what's up, guys? Young Bo, Trigger, how you doing? J2, CP, how you guys doing? Oh, what earnings did you guys want us to check out? Also, remember, anything you hear or see here today is not financial advice. This is strictly for the purpose of education. Elevator type music. Yes, yes. Wait, can you guys hear me good? How's the volume in general? And how's the elevator music so far? Is it too loud, too low? Let me know. Should I do this chat overlay? Alright, so let's check out Intel. I actually think Intel's a pretty interesting company. They had a good beat. They had earnings today, Thursday, April 28th. They reported earnings per share at 87 cents as opposed to 80 cents. Sales was 18.4 billion as opposed to 18.31. Turn music check a wee bit. I got you. Thank you, I appreciate that. Awesome friends. Is this XY? What's going on, XY? So Intel had a pretty good earning. They beat the estimates, right? However, compared to last quarter, they saw a 37% decrease over earnings of $1.39. And compared to the same period last year, their revenue is actually down 6.47%. So down a little bit. Oh, music is a little loud. Let me turn that down. Is this better? Is the music better? It's always a weird balance, honestly. Let me know when we get to the point where the music is just like, it's just like almost non-existent, like it's in the background, you know. So Intel was up to 47, came back down a little bit to 45. Pretty interesting area. Let's take a look at the charts. I think for today, I'm gonna strictly try to look at weekly charts because I think we're at a point in the market where we have to really look like look further back, like not further back, but we have to look farther away, because we're at a point where we see a lot of opportunities in the market. You know, there's a lot of like there's a lot of stocks that are coming to value, and we have to see if these are coming to a range of like really good moving averages, or like really interesting value for us to go long on it, you know, for see if this is a decision that makes sense or not. um or you know, but honestly at the end of the day it's just whether I would, you know, how a lot of the decision is just gonna be, you know, what I'm gonna do in my position. I wouldn't recommend you to follow or do the same. Let's see. So Intel, it's almost coming back to this $43 levels. It hasn't really been there for a while. It did hit a little bit over here. When was this? This was in February. We touched 43 for a wee bit. I think it'd be really interesting if we touch this COVID level. Maybe even like the super March lows over here. That was like close to 4150s. So I think that's a really interesting area because we're also at a point in time in the market where, have you guys heard of deglobalization? Sounds sussy. Deglobalization sounds sussy. Well, so deglobalization is kind of like it's like us being less dependent, right? In other part of the world and country and things like that. So even right now we can see that, you know, even with everything that's going right now, you can see like with this war between Russia and Ukraine, like, you know, I'm not gonna pick sides or anything, but even in this situation right now, you know, we're at a point where we're like it is like, you know, what is going on, right? Like we're not getting stuff from Russia. We essentially like banned them, right? We're like, nah, no, like, nah, we don't support you having a war with the other country, so we're not gonna buy supply from you, and we're not gonna let you buy supply from us and things like that. So we went from a place um where we were very like very good within supply chains, doing deals and like buying stuff from every other country and taking advantage of that, to now to the point that we're not like buying stuff, and we can't buy stuff from other countries and things like that, because I mean, look at China, right? China just shut down, and we saw that Apple's earnings was really ugly, right? And it's because of China shutting down. So because of all these things, it's gonna drive us to the point where we have to be more dependent on ourselves as America, right? Our country has to be more dependent on the manufacturing capacity of our country, like of companies that are built here and made here. So we're coming back to that point again, or even like with Canada and Mexico, you know, North America in general. Like we have to be more dependent on the countries that are on our side of the world now, because we can see how much supply chain becomes such a huge impact. So I think that's gonna be really interesting, and Intel is one of those companies that I think can benefit extremely, that I could that you know, that has communicated that they would benefit really well from that, because they're spending a lot of money to build in their factories and you know, manufacturing capabilities in America, and they're all American companies. So I think it'd be an interesting stock for for me to have in my own portfolio and whatnot. We'll take a look at Amazon a little bit as well. Take a look at the Amazon earnings. So I think this is an interesting price, but there's also the inflation issue, right? The inflationary pressure along with interest rate and and whatnot, and that's another issue by itself. That's a whole nother issue that's a little bit harder to talk about though. So I'll go a little bit more into that as well. Let's check out. Let me see. Let me take a look at that report real quick though. Where's that report? It's right here. Are they doing any share buybacks? I wonder. Wow, look at that. Look at this. So this is the summary, down 7% year over year, reaffirming full year 22 revenue guidance. So I think the chip companies are doing pretty good right now. Q1 was a strong start of the year, exceeding expectation on both top and bottom line. Intel CEO said, with 1 trillion market opportunity ahead of us, we remain laser focused on our IDM 2.0 strategy. We execute well against the strategy in Q1, delivering key products and technology milestones and announcing plans to expand our manufacturing capacity in both the US and Europe to meet the continued demand for semiconductors and drive a more balanced, resilient global supply chain. So very interesting. They talked a good talk here, so we'll see how that plays. But I think from what the CEO says, it's an interesting long-term position. Take a look at Amazon real quick. Is there any other earnings that you guys wanted to check out and talk about? So Amazon's earning was also today. Huge drop I saw a little bit. So it came back. I had a little time. Oh wait, did they drop? No, yeah, they did drop. Yeah. This data is so weird. Oh, the man, the myth, the legend. I appreciate you, Snack. How you doing? So Amazon sales was a beat. Q1 sales is 116.4 billion, beat estimate of 116.3 billion. So this is a 7% increase compared to the same period last year. However, ooh, what the hell? This is horrible earnings though. Earnings per share. I'm not sure if I'm seeing this right, because usually red means negative. So if like I hope it's not negative 7.56 as opposed to like $8.07 per share, because negative 56 is like it's like negative 16. It's like down 16. That's a lot. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I had to update your password. Oh yeah, if you guys are on Twitch, make sure you log in so you can talk and stuff and ask questions. Alright, so operating cash flow decreased. Also keep in mind all these earnings reports and that are coming through now, they are reporting for the last quarters, right? So all these earnings that we're seeing right now, these are past results. None of these earnings has priced in the war that has disrupted the supply chain issue, like within the last month or so. So that's something to keep in mind too. So if going into this whole season, if you're looking like to short the hell out of every single stock out there, because you know for a fact that there's heavy inflation and heavy supply chain issue, and that avocado price is going through the roof, and Chipotle can't handle it, you know, you got to remember that that's not gonna happen till next quarter. So net sales increased 7% to 116.4 billion in the first quarter, compared with 108.5 billion in the first quarter of 2021. Excluding the 1.8 billion in unfavorable impact from year-to-year changes in exchange rate, net sales increased 9%. So this quarter was actually a pretty interesting quarter for them. But they said they had a net loss of 3.8 billion in the first quarter, or $7.56 per share, as opposed to net income of 8.1 billion. So they lost a lot. So compared to the quarter, right? They were probably supposed to make 8.1 billion, but they're losing 3.8. So they're actually down like 11.9, right? That's a lot. Oh, this loss is from your favorite electric car company, Rivian Automotive. The stock probably came down a lot. That's why it affected them so much, because they had a huge investment in it. Let's see what they say about Ukraine. So the pandemic and subsequent war in Ukraine have brought unusual growth and challenge. With AWS growing 34% annually over the last 2 years and 37% year over year in the first quarter, ago, and helping companies weather the pandemic and move more of their workload into the cloud. Our consumer business has grown 23% over the past 2 years, with extraordinary growth in 2020 of 39%. They doubled their fulfillment network and built over Amazon's first 25 years. Wow. So they said that apparently in 1 year they doubled what they had took to do in 25 years. It's pretty crazy. In 24 months. No issues with physical or staffing capacity. Teams are working pretty good, apparently. Particularly, they are facing some inflationary and supply chain pressure, but they see encouraging progress on a number of customer experience. Oh, apparently you can use buy with Prime, which is like buy now, pay later or something like that. Did they talk anything about stock splits? Oh, Amazon also closes acquisition of MGM to their studio, so they'll be making more shows. They got a bunch of shows. Got the James Bond stuff as well. Talked a little bit about the shows. I'm not sure if that's the most craziest thing though. Damn, they didn't even say anything about the stock split. Did they post a guidance? No, no guidance. Or did they? It says they did lower guidance. So usually on the Q1 earnings, they talked about the full year guidance too. So usually they talk about how they think they're gonna perform in the next 4 quarters this year. But I don't know why I'm not seeing it here. Very interesting. Oh yeah, you guys know what else was interesting? I saw this today. I saw this article by this dude, Jack. That was pretty funny. He's like, top 39 craziest things people have done to get lay. Congrats to Orgasm for winning the bracket. best thing in the world comes down to orgasm. Everybody agrees. Cookie fresh from the oven versus orgasm. Orgasm wins. First sip of cold beer after a long week. Vacation. They all fail. A good poop, not even close. So I thought that was a pretty interesting. So top 39 craziest things. Number 2 was exercise regularly, break in and out of prison so you can be with your inmate lover. The entire concept of plastic surgery. Completely change your interests and personality. Buy expensive sports cars. Be a sugar daddy. Start a war with Troy because you think Helen is hot. Is she hot though? Probably at that time she was. Grow a beard? I don't know. Do guys really grow a beard for girls? Shave your body daily, woman. Slap a comedian on stage at the Oscars after he insulted your wife. Allow yourself to be catfish. Spend your life, this is probably my favorite one. Spend your life savings on a wedding to someone you have 0 in common with. Work 80 hours a week in investment banking. That sounds about right. Why wouldn't anybody do that? Unless they were trying to. End the war in Kenya so you can live the sex ban that women nationwide impose. Hey, if they really did that, dang, that's good. Maybe Russia could do that. Maybe the women of Russia could do that. Can you see? Yo, imagine how powerful that would be if all the females in Russia got together and did this. Dang, that would be powerful. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff. I thought that was fun. Let's check out some of the other earnings we had this week. So another big earning that we had was also Robinhood. Let's check that out. I wanna digest that a little bit more. Damn, look at this company. Shout out to the women in Russia, raise up. Where remember when Robinhood was like $80? Has anybody here bought Robinhood at $80 and still holding? Let me know if you did. I would be really amazed. Let me know. If that's something you guys have done, then dang, power to you, man. Holy smokes. That's pretty good. If you can hold it that hard, then you're a true believer of Robinhood, you know? Put my ultimate ban list? Dang. Why? What'd they do to you? Oh yeah, they had a huge workforce reduction. They said on April 26th, so even in anticipation, they said they have reduction in force as part of the effort to improve efficiency and operating costs. They fire about 330 employees. Probably the whole customer service team, because they're like useless, man. We don't need no customer service. We started the company with no customer service. Why now? Honestly, I don't even know why they bother. Their customer service team is useless anyways. Why bother? Those people know nothing about stocks. They said they'll incur 17 million to 23 million of cash restructuring and related charge due to employee severance and benefit costs. Wow, even firing employees cost them money, bro. What? With respect to share-based compensation, as part of this reduction in force, the company modify a portion of the affected employee stock award to allow a portion of the award to vest that otherwise would have been forfeited. However, as a result of the reversal of previously recognized share-based compensation expense for stock award that has been forfeited or forfeit in connection with this reduction in force. Oh, this is save some money from firing all the people and share compensation. They actually, one of the reasons they lost a lot of money this quarter was actually because of the money they had to pay for in share compensation. So let's see what's interesting here. Total net revenue decreased 43%. Wow, a lot of money lost there. Transaction-based revenue decreased 48%. So it sounds like 48% of the people that was on there blew up or just didn't commit activities there anymore or just move elsewhere. So they lost about 48% of transaction-based business. Options decreased 36%. Dang. Oh, even crypto. Crypto decreased 39%. Equities decreased 73%. What? Damn. That's a lot of revenue loss. Even in equity. However, they said the funded account increased 27%. They added 7.1 million new funded account by large customer interest in crypto during the second quarter of 2021. Monthly active users down to 15.9 billion. I remember they had almost 22 million at one point. So they're taking a little bit loss there. However, assets under custody, AUC, increased 15% to 93.1 billion compared with 80.9 billion. So there's still a lot of money on the platform somehow. But it is down a little bit from 98 at the peak. So it's pretty interesting there. But they said this is just strictly based on the macroeconomic environment. Has nothing to do, like their customers are just affected by the ongoing situation, nothing else, honestly. Brokerage is amazing, they said. They still deliver amazing products. They're still making significant strides in the crypto business with giving you guys an actual wallet address. It's on track with this 2022 roadmap to sell you more crypto and put all your savings account on there. Let me see. Hood investor relations. I want to see graphics, man. Or we have to look at some bozo chart. Cute. Let's look at some graphics, baby. Ugh. Wow, look at Robinhood, too. This is like the future, man. Look, people placing orders on holographic screens. Everybody is like just random holographic screens in front of you, man. I don't know where it's coming from. This is mine. This is mine. That's Elon Musk right there. Is it? Yo, how many of you guys think this looks like Elon Musk? I mean, look at this. This lady's badass. Red hair, red glasses. But why their clothes look so bozo? I mean, why do you even need a pocket anymore? It's the future. Why is there even a pocket? Everybody knows there's no such thing as pockets. They don't exist. So this is 2022 roadmaps. They're looking to introduce the Robinhood Cash Card. Trading hours from... Ooh, this is big. They're having a cash card. They're expanding the trading hour from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Wait, isn't that what everybody else had? Completed the crypto wallet rollout. Oh, I did see that video. If you have the meme, send it. I want to see it again. I did see that Chinese Elon Musk this morning. Add a new coin to our crypto selection. Enter into agreements to acquire Xtrades to help accelerate international expansion efforts. Oh, they already have the 8 p.m. trading hours now? Oh, and they said they have new coins? Oh, they said they already have new coins? Huh? These are all previous dates. See, I knew I was coming to the right place. They have some cool graphics. Look at these graphics. I love the person making these presentations, man. I wish I could hire them. I wonder how much work they put up into this. They said apparently all their accounts are funded. How do you have so much account funded? What, so little monthly active users? Is it because you just give free stocks and the funded accounts are just holding the free stock? Wow, monthly active user definitely went down. This was the peak. Q2 2021. That was the peak. That was the peak in funds too. $102 billion asset under custody. Average revenue per user went down significantly. Used to be $100+. Now it's $53. Why are you guys making so little money? Why? This is like a head and shoulder pattern. Up, down, or a pyramid. Oh, this is like the end, bro. This is the end. Everything is going on a downward slope. It's over. It's over. Yo, what's up, Nasty Nate? How you doing? Scrappy Boo too. Thanks for subbing, I think. Oh, look at all this money lost. So actually, all those money lost comes from this one thing. I think. I'm pretty sure. Where is it? Trying to find the whole thing. Oh, the money loss comes from share-based compensation. It comes from the stock. It's come from the giving away stock awards and people cashing out and things like that. That's where their loss is coming from. Snack now 100. What's up? Wait, did you just change your name real quick? What's up, Nasty Nate? Grady, how you doing? Oh, we're looking at Robinhood. Check out the graphics. Let me show you. Look at this futuristic graphics, man. Everybody got holograms. I remember in 2012, I was working was working at selling like technology stuff, and I remember we thought that Apple was gonna come up with like holographic projection screens and things like that. And that was in 2012. Now we're in 2022, yo. 10 years later, still hasn't seen it. Why? Why? Why haven't we seen that, man? Dang. But that was an interesting earnings to look at. Yeah, puts on that garbage. Oh, let me show you something. You might appreciate this, Nasty Nate. Top 39 craziest things people have done to get laid. Post pictures of yourself at a baseball game on a dating app talking about how you love sports and guy stuff. Dress like this bozo. Get a job. I mean, yeah, right? Bro. Who, like, what's the point of us getting jobs? The only point of us getting jobs is to get laid, bro. Nothing else. Nothing else. Buy a truck. Become a rapper. Write poetry. Cut your ears. Cut your ear in the 19th century, France, and give it to your crush, even though you're like the most famous painter ever. My man is down bad. Go on a first date with a perfect stranger that could easily murder you. Things that we do just get laid. Basically every single thing JFK did in his presidency. The man risked national security multiple times just to feed his sex addiction. He also slept with a Nazi spy that he was fully aware was working for the German government. Dang! That man wanted bad. Wait, what link? This link? Nah, I don't want to promote that guy. But that was an interesting one though. I can drop it in the chat if you want. Here, let me copy it. Oh, whoops! Posted the wrong link. It's this one. What a bozo, right? What a bozo. Bacon apple pie. Yo, I used to miss these movies. These were like the classics growing up. This guy. That was that American Pie. The whole American Pie series. Yo, have you guys seen that? Like how many? I don't know. I don't know if the young generation even has like a movie like that. Those were good old comedy movies. If you guys like young, growing up, and you haven't seen any of those American Pie movies, gotta check it out. Some of it was a little inappropriate, but it was damn good laughter. Let's go back into stocks. Break out and back into a Nazi camp. I know, right? Yo, you must really want it. But I can understand, man. I can understand. You know what they say? Love can blind people sometimes. That's why it's so dangerous. It can make people do crazy things. And sometimes it might not just be love. It might just be trying to get an orgasm. Apple also reported earnings. I thought this was an interesting one, because I think we almost never seen Apple do this, right? Apple says not providing revenue guidance going forward. They also said some really troubled things, right? Apple's conference call, they report $4 to $8 billion in COVID-related disruption. They said they predict 300 basis points headwind due to supply chain problems. So 300 basis points is like 3%, which is maybe not that much. but maybe that much. I don't know. It's interesting. I wish Apple would do another stock split. I think that would be a really, really interesting thing for them to do. They also authorized a huge buyback of $90 billion, so they continue to authorize more buybacks. But overall, they had a pretty good earnings for the quarter, for Q2, which is actually last quarter, right? Which is the last 3 months. So they said they had earnings per share of $1.52 as opposed to $1.43. Sales was 97.3 billion as opposed to 93.89. This was an 8% increase compared to the same period last year, and 8% increase in sales as well compared to the same period last year. So really, really good. I mean, they were already doing really phenomenal, and they just continue to keep killing it. Let me see if they have a graphic for us. I always like it when we get a graphic, man. It's like, would you rather hear somebody talk, or would you rather see a PowerPoint presentation that's done well? But damn, no good graphics here. Let me see if I can find a good graphics here. Please be good graphics. Please be good graphics. No, it's not good graphics. You gotta give it to Robinhood. At least they had a really good graphics, right? Oh yeah, if you guys want to check out any other ticker, feel free to drop it in the chat and let me know. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna end the stream in a little bit. Maybe I talk a little bit about inflation. What they do, they don't give a crap. They're like, we make so much money, we sell such a good product, we love a cult following. Oh yeah, we took a look at Amazon a little bit. Total net sales is 97 billion, really good. 6 months ended is really good as well. So if they lose about $8 billion, yeah, they're still gonna do better than the last year. So where's the most money coming from? Oh, they're doing really good with iPhone sales. They're really doing really good with Macs. Doing horrible with iPads. Doing really good with wearables, home accessories, and stuff. And also pretty good with the services. Interesting. Cash on hand is looking alright. I'm surprised Apple didn't do a stock split, actually. Did you check Amazon? Yeah, I'll take a look at Amazon again. I'll take a look at interesting chart for Amazon too. I think this is the first time we ever broke the moving averages. So if you look at it on a bigger chart, you can see almost like a head and shoulder pattern setting up. And god dang, if you don't want to see a head and shoulder pattern setting up, because if you can see here, this is the head, right? If this head and shoulder pattern sets up, do you know where Amazon could potentially be? Scary. Very scary. So they lost a buttload of money this quarter, and I think it's probably only gonna get worse at this point. But the stock split could be really, really interesting because that's gonna bring it at extreme value. I don't think it's gonna flop like crazy right away, but those are some food for thought. Let's take a look at Pinterest real quick. Oh, 109% decrease compared to earnings from the same period last year. Wow, that's a huge decrease. 18.4% increase compared to sales of the same period last year. Honestly, for the longest time, I have no clue what the use case of Pinterest is. I think I understand Snapchat better than Pinterest. I don't know about you guys. Like I know now they actually let you buy stuff, but it's still like really really weird to use. And they always like stuck you behind this wall, like sign up wall. So revenue grew, retail advertisers, international businesses, monthly active users decreased 9%. Oh, because pandemic influenced growth. I guess people going back to the office and things like that are affecting them a little bit. Like I don't have time to look at social media or anything like that. But that's pretty big decrease though, losing like 10% monthly active users. How are they? Oh, I guess more people are still paying for them to advertise, but the active user is not there. That means people are paying more money. They think revenue is going to continue to grow 11% year over year. Operating expense is going to grow as well, a lot more. Didn't really say anything about the monthly active users. Yeah, I mean, they're not profitable. They made money, but they're not profitable because profitability would have been a positive on the EPS side, which they were not. They blame Russia for decreasing users. Oh, you know who's the worst? Netflix, man. Netflix said they lost 700,000 subscribers because of the Russia escalation and things like that. But if you think about it, actually, like Netflix is like they've been trying to, they're like almost like far right media in a way, because they like they make all their shows like super PG and things like that, right? So coming from a country like Russia, that's like according to what we know is a communist country, right? So if like if they're like a communist country, and Netflix is distributing content that are like more democracy based and things like that, that's actually undermining Russia, right? So them pulling out is actually bad for society, because they would actually be undermining um, Russia's whole like philosophy as a country. So I think that is just such a bozo move, man. But uh, interesting decision from them. But let's talk inflation. Let's talk inflation, man. So I think inflation is really interesting. What is inflation at now? I think it's like 11%, 12%. 8.5%. So they say inflation is 8.5%. I mean, if you guys been long-term watcher of the stream, I always whine about the inflation. I always said that inflation was like close to 30-40% last year, because food has increased so much, but those aren't really calculated into that, right? But as we've seen energy costs increase and not slowing down at all, I think inflation is only going to go higher and higher. I don't think we're really going to see a slowdown in that anytime soon. And what that means is that if inflation gets higher and higher, then the Fed has to work harder and harder to reduce inflation, right? Which is really bad for the market, because when you think about this long term from a macroeconomic point of view, and keep in mind when you think about things like from a long term, a wider picture of a macroeconomic point of view, it takes time for it to happen, right? So even though, like, we knew a while back that, it could be extremely bearish for the stock market and everything, um, it just takes a while for that to really happen. And some of the things that will affect it is that, like, we printed massive amount of money, right, in the last 2 years due to COVID and things like that. We dropped a lot of stimulus checks, but no real ways for people to spend it properly, because we dropped the stimulus check so early when people didn't even need it, right? People didn't even burn through their savings yet, and we already dropped the stimulus checks. So now, people bought so much stuff, and everybody is trying to expand their business and all that stuff, and supply chain is an issue. So obviously the cost for material is going to go higher due to inflation, right? That's where the inflationary pressure is coming from. Everything's going to go up because the basic laws of supply and demand is that if supply is limited, then the then demand is high, then the cost goes up, and that is like what causes inflation. So if inflation running hotter is a mathematical certainty, because of this whole situation, then that would mean that treasury yields and interest rate is gonna go up. That is also a certainty, right? Because if inflation remains high, the Fed has to increase the rates, right? So I don't think we're at a point where we're slowing down at all. And the Fed has a choice where they're either gonna have to fight inflation and crash the market, or let inflation run wild just to save the stock market. Like, at the end of the day, you know, I think the smarter decision for the Fed is probably to try to save everybody else, because not everyone is invested in the market, right? I think the people that are invested in the market are less percentage versus the general population, um, at least generally. So I think that's going to be a really interesting issue. But one thing is like, but based on the trajectory of things, if inflation continues to go crazy and the Fed continue to raise interest rates, right? What that does is gonna make it more expensive for a company to borrow money, and if as the interest rate go higher, and that could also slow down growth, right? Now on the other side, if inflation is high, costs are gonna go up, and companies are gonna have to pay higher costs, and they're gonna have to eat the cost too, because they can't always pass inflationary pressure off right away, because they always assume inflation is gonna subside really quick, right? So there's also that. And if they do pass the cost to customers, then they're gonna lose business. So things are gonna slow down and that. So all those things are also pointing close to recession, right? That's also something that's scary. And we're at a point where the market has been going up to the point where, hey, we could be going to the point where the market could come down a little bit, man. So those are some interesting thoughts from inflation. That could be a little bit scary. And also, as inflation and all these other things, you know, like pressure applies to the market, you have to also think about how earnings per share and price to earning ratios of a stock, right? A lot of times the stock price is based on the price of the stock versus how much they're earning, right? Um, and at what point is it worth it to invest in this stock or not worth it to invest in this stock, right? So those are some factors people generally look at on the fundamental point when they're looking at the stock market. So if earnings are slowing down, if it's gonna cost them more money um, to borrow money, if it's gonna cost them more money to sell product because of inflationary pressures, then all those things are gonna push their stock price, and their price to earn. It's gonna cost their earnings to go lower, right? If they're making much less money and their stock price still remains the same, then what that means is that the stock price is getting overvalued. So people are gonna start selling off as they make less and less money. So I think that's also gonna be really interesting in the market as well. But I mean, some of these things we've seen like 3 months ago, 6 months ago, even a year ago, right? We recognize it happening, but the stock market didn't realize it at that time, because it takes time for something to happen. It's like it's like the Titanic, man. Like, even if the ship is sinking, it takes a while for the ship to sink. takes a while for the water to fill up the ship, you know. So interesting food for thought for you people who worry about inflation. But I know one thing's for sure, that the market isn't gonna be super easy as it was during all these candles over here. What is this? There's like 10, 20 candles here. So this is like the last 20 months. We probably essentially has one of the easiest market ever. Even better than this market here. Like you thought this market was easy? 2012 to 2015. Nah, this market was easy. Because look how big and how long the candles were. We gone up so much percentage every month. Like but yeah, things are good there. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. I hope the inflation topic was interesting for you guys. I'm gonna end it here and take a break and go sleep. But we'll try to stop by next time if we have some bunch more interesting earnings and whatnot. Take care and happy trading.